Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about the woman who sits in silence at lunch. The woman who scrolls through her phone just to avoid eye contact. The woman who goes entire weekends without hearing from anyone. The woman who is never tagged in group photos or invited into the group chats. The woman with no friends. If that woman is you, I need you to hear this loud and clear. You are not broken. We live in a world that tells you your value is tied to your popularity, that the more people you have around you, the more lovable you must be. So when you find yourself in a season or maybe a lifetime without close friends, it messes with your head. You start to wonder if something is wrong with you, if you're too much or not enough. Let me tell you what's really going on. There are three possible truths when a woman finds herself alone. First, she's healing from a history of betrayal or manipulation. Second, she's growing faster than the people she once called friends. Or third, she's finally learning to sit with herself instead of settling for fake connection. In all three cases, it's not a flaw. It's a phase. It's a doorway into something more powerful than shallow friendships. It's the start of a friendship with yourself. When you have no friends, you learn what it feels like to listen to your own voice again. You remember what you actually want to do with your time. You stop performing. You stop pretending. You get real about who you are and what you need. You stop apologizing for being too deep, too driven, too sensitive, or too independent. You realize that you're not too much, they were too little for your truth. Being friendless doesn't mean you're unlovable. It means your soul got tired of pretending and started demanding realness. And I know it hurts. I'm not here to sugarcoat that. It hurts to feel left out. It hurts to realize the people you showed up for didn't do the same for you. It hurts to look around and see no one cheering for you. That's real. But here's what else is real. You are not meant to stay in that pain. Because pain is a message. It's trying to wake you up, to show you the gap between what you've been tolerating and what you actually deserve. And if you're in a season of solitude right now, maybe it's because the universe had to clear the space. Maybe you've been so surrounded by noise, drama, and false friendships that you couldn't even hear your intuition anymore. So everything got quiet. The group chat went silent. The coffee invites stopped coming. And now it's just you. And here's the kicker. Just you is the most powerful place you can be. Because from that place, you rise. You stop needing external approval to feel worthy. You stop chasing validation and start claiming respect. You stop looking around for someone to save you and realize you've had the key the whole damn time. That loneliness, it's not punishment. It's preparation for deeper friendships, for aligned people, for the kind of sisterhood that doesn't ask you to shrink, filter, or perform. But you have to go first. You have to become the kind of friend you wish you had. You have to speak to yourself kindly. Cheer yourself on. Set boundaries. Show up for your own healing. Because here's the truth. When you become loyal to yourself, you naturally attract people who will treat you with the same loyalty. You don't find real connection by begging people to like you. You find it by becoming someone who refuses to abandon herself. And when that version of you shows up in the world, oh, she's magnetic. She doesn't chase. She doesn't explain. She doesn't settle. She walks into a room and owns her presence with or without a crew. Because she knows she is never alone when she's connected to herself. So if you're the woman with no friends right now, don't see it as a flaw. See it as a pause before the upgrade. See it as a sacred moment where the noise fades and the truth rises. You are being reintroduced to the most important relationship of your life, the one with you. And trust me, once you fall in love with the woman in the mirror, you'll stop accepting halfway love from everyone else. So here's your challenge. Stop waiting for people to include you. Invite yourself into your life. Book the table for one. Take the walk without the conversation. Celebrate your own wins. Be so good to yourself that when the right people arrive, they're just a bonus, not your lifeline. You're not hard to love. You've just been loving people who couldn't see you. But now you see you. And when you have that, you have everything. When loneliness shows up in your life, it doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It means something is trying to speak to you. And the most tragic mistake women make when they feel alone is immediately trying to numb it, ignore it, or distract themselves from it. But the truth is, loneliness is one of the most powerful signals your body and soul can send you. It's not a judgment.
But here's where we get it twisted. We assume that connection must come from other people, that it has to look like brunch plans, group chats, or a best friend we can cry to. And while all of those things are beautiful, they are not the foundation. The foundation is the relationship you have with yourself. If that part isn't built right, if you don't have a healthy internal dialogue, if you don't know how to sit with your own silence, if you feel worthless unless someone is calling or texting you, then even when friends do show up, the loneliness will linger. Because external connection can never fix an internal disconnection, what loneliness is actually telling you is, you've become unfamiliar with your own company, and the solution isn't to desperately seek someone to fill that space. It's to learn to honor that space, to reclaim it, to sit in it long enough that it stops feeling scary and starts feeling sacred. Think about it. Most of us are terrified of being alone. We fill our silence with noise, our homes with distractions, and our calendars with people who don't even energize us, just so we don't have to face the quiet, because when it's quiet, our truth speaks. And that truth can be uncomfortable. It can reveal the friendships we've outgrown, the way we've betrayed ourselves for acceptance, the dreams we've abandoned just to fit in, and that's hard, but it's also healing. Because once you stop running, once you sit down and listen to that loneliness, you realize it's not the enemy, it's the invitation. Loneliness is an invitation to meet the parts of you that you've been avoiding. The parts that are messy, real, raw, the parts that you haven't been giving love to. It's in that stillness that you get reacquainted with your intuition. You remember what you love doing, not what's trendy, not what makes other people like you, but what actually lights you up. You rediscover your voice, your passions, your preferences, your values. You remember who the hell you were before the world told you who you had to be, and when that happens, when you start to genuinely enjoy your own company, you stop accepting half-hearted friendships. You stop bending over backwards just to be included. You stop lowering your standards to avoid being alone, because you realize you were never truly alone in the first place. You were just disconnected from you. I want you to understand something profound. Healing happens in solitude. Reinvention happens in solitude. Clarity happens in solitude. The most important breakthroughs in your life will often happen in a room where it's just you, your thoughts, and your truth. And that's not sad, that's sacred. So when loneliness shows up, instead of saying, "Why don't I have friends?" ask, "What is this space trying to teach me? What version of me is trying to be born in this quiet?" Because the loneliness you feel now may be the exact thing protecting you from the wrong crowd, the wrong influence, the wrong path. It may be your soul saying, "We're not settling for crumbs anymore. We're waiting for the feast." You see, there's a version of you that is so deeply in love with her own life that friendships become a bonus, not a lifeline. There's a version of you that walks into rooms with her head held high, not because she's the most popular woman there, but because she knows who she is, even if nobody else claps. There's a version of you that no longer feels like a victim of her loneliness, but rather the author of her solitude. And the crazy thing, that version is already inside you. She's just been buried under years of people, pleasing, self-doubt, and social conditioning that told you your value comes from being liked. But guess what? The most liked people are often the most lost. Because when you live for the crowd, you lose yourself. But when you learn to be at peace in your own presence, you become magnetic. You stop chasing connection and start attracting alignment. So if you're the woman with no friends right now, I need you to stop shaming yourself, stop questioning your worth, and start getting curious. Who are you when no one is watching? What do you love when no one is influencing you? What are you capable of when you're not playing small to fit in? That loneliness, it's a launch pad, a sacred reset, A powerful message that says, you are meant for more, but first you need to meet yourself. So light a candle, take yourself out to dinner, go on solo walks and talk to yourself like someone you actually love. Write in your journal like you're catching up with your best friend. And remember, when you treat your own soul like it matters, you teach the world to do the same. And that is how you turn loneliness into liberation. There's a moment in every woman's life when she realizes that she didn't lose people. They were never truly meant to stay. That realization doesn't come with fireworks. It doesn't come with closure. It usually arrives quietly, after days or weeks or even years of questioning yourself, wondering what you did wrong, replaying conversations, trying to shrink yourself, to fix something that was never yours to fix. And then, finally, clarity hits. Not everyone leaves because of something you did. Sometimes, the people around you simply couldn't go where you're growing. Outgrowing people is one of the most painful forms of growth. Because it looks like silence, it looks like distance, it looks like unread messages and one-sided effort. It feels personal, and yet, it's not about blame, it's about alignment. The truth is, growth creates gaps. As you rise, as you heal, as you start to set boundaries and know your worth, the people who benefited from your old version can no longer reach you. And it's not because you've become arrogant or cold. It's because you've stopped tolerating what once drained you. And that shift threatens people who were comfortable with your dysfunction. It confuses people who only knew how to connect with your pain. When you stop being the fixer, the people pleaser, the yes woman, you start seeing who was actually there for you and who was there for what you did for them. And sometimes the answer is no one. Sometimes you realize that the group you called friends was actually a stage where you played a role, a version of yourself that kept the peace, stayed small, and made sure everyone else was comfortable. So, when the texts stop, when the invites disappear, when you find yourself sitting alone more often than you used to, don't rush to fill the void, sit with it, feel it, because that void, it's not emptiness. It's space that used to be filled with noise, space that's now available for truth, for realness, for alignment, and you don't need 50 friends to feel loved. You need authenticity. You need connection that doesn't require you to perform. You need people who celebrate your growth, not resent it. People who cheer your wins and hold your hand through the losses, not because it benefits them, but because they see you. But here's the catch. You won't find those people until you become that person for yourself first. Because the reason most women stay stuck in toxic friendships is fear. Fear of being alone, fear of being judged, fear of starting over, and that fear will keep you in rooms you've outgrown, in conversations that drain you, in dynamics where you keep giving and rarely receive. But when you finally walk away from what's misaligned, when you finally stop forcing what's fading, you create the energetic space for better. And yes, the in-between is lonely. Yes, it feels like a free fall. But you're not falling. You're being rerouted, rebuilt, realigned, and let's be honest, it takes courage to outgrow people. It takes bravery to say, I still love you, but I love myself more. It takes strength to choose solitude over settling. Because choosing yourself means grieving the comfort of old connections. It means facing your shadows. It means sitting in the awkward space of not having the people you once called home. But that's where your power is. Because once you stop attaching your worth to who stays and who leaves, you become unstoppable. You stop begging people to see your value and start living it. You stop chasing approval and start embodying self-respect. And the moment you do that, the moment you show the universe that you are no longer available for relationships that deplete you, everything begins to shift. The right people start to show up. People who don't need you to dim your light. People who match your energy, your integrity, your depth. But here's the truth you need to hear. The people meant for you can't find you while you're buried in friendships that require you to hide who you really are. So if you've been wondering why you're alone, why people are fading, why connection feels harder than ever, it might be because your soul is shedding old skin. It might be because you're stepping into a version of yourself that the old crowd simply wasn't built to handle. Don't let that discourage you. Let it liberate you, because this version of you, the one who sets boundaries, who honors her energy, who refuses to stay small just to make others comfortable, that version is magnetic. And yes, she might walk alone for a while, but eventually she'll walk with people who walk just as boldly, just as authentically, just as intentionally. So the next time you feel tempted to chase a fading connection, ask yourself, am I chasing love or am I avoiding loneliness? Am I clinging to a version of me that I've already outgrown? Because here's the truth. Not everyone is meant to walk the full journey with you. Some people are chapters, lessons, mirrors, and when their role in your life is done, holding on only delays the next blessing. You've got to be willing to turn the page, and you're not turning the page because you're bitter. You're turning the page because you're better at loving yourself, better at protecting your peace, better at choosing relationships that add to your life, not subtract from it. So if you're standing in a season where you feel like no one gets you, like everyone's walking away, like you're walking this path alone, take heart. That's not abandonment, that's alignment. That's your soul pruning what no longer serves you so that the real thing can finally bloom. You didn't lose them, you found you, and that's always, always worth it. There's a lie that so many women have internalized, and it sounds like this: if I don't make the effort, no one else will. That belief right there, it's the root of exhaustion. It's the reason you feel like you're the only one holding your relationships together, the only one texting first, the only one remembering birthdays, checking in, planning the coffee dates, asking how everyone else is doing. But no one asks how you are. And here's the hard truth. When you're always the one doing the emotional heavy lifting, it's not a friendship. It's a performance. Women are taught that nurturing is our job, that being the nice girl, the reliable one, the go-to, is a badge of honor. But the truth is, when you constantly pour into people who never pour back, you end up emotionally bankrupt. You start to resent the people you're supposed to feel close to. You smile through it, but inside you're exhausted, angry, and questioning your own worth. Let me be clear, a one-sided friendship is not a friendship. It's a transaction where you're always paying the emotional cost. And when you believe that your worth is tied to how much you do for others, you lose the ability to be with yourself. You become addicted to being needed, and guess what? That kind of dynamic only attracts people who need something from you, not people who see you, value you, or show up for you. So here's a radical question that will shift your entire world. What happens if I stop trying? If you stopped texting first, who would reach out? If you stopped checking in, who would notice your absence? If you stopped being the glue, would the connection hold, or would it fall apart? Most of the time, when women get brave enough to stop doing all the work, the silence on the other end is deafening, and that silence is your answer. It hurts. Let's not pretend it doesn't. It hurts to realize that some people never valued you, they just valued your effort. They liked what you did for them. They enjoyed your presence as long as you were convenient, accommodating, available. But the moment you ask for reciprocity, the moment you set a boundary, the moment you stop making it easy, they disappear. And that's not rejection, that's revelation. The revelation is this: true friendship isn't about convenience, it's about consistency. It's about mutuality. You shouldn't have to chase people who say they care about you. You shouldn't have to beg for support, or shrink yourself to keep peace, or stay silent so you don't cause drama. That's not love. That's emotional labor disguised as loyalty. Women who carry this pattern often come from a place of deep empathy. You see people's pain, you understand their struggles, you want to be the safe place for everyone, but here's the thing. No, one is building you a safe place. No one is checking if you're okay. And that imbalance slowly chips away at your confidence, your energy, and your joy. So what do you do when you realize you're the only one holding it together? You stop. You stop over-explaining. You stop chasing. You stop proving. You stop giving people access to you that they haven't earned. And then you observe who notices, who steps up, who reaches out not because they need something, but because they miss you. Because they value you. That right there is your real circle, and it might be smaller than you thought. It might be one person, it might be no one for a while, but the truth is, peace is better than performance, solitude is better than fake support, and your own energy is too sacred to be wasted on people who don't even see you. You've got to be brave enough to let the silence do the sorting. Because when you stop being the one who always tries, you finally get to see the truth about the people around you. And yes, it might shake your world a little. But it will also set you free, free from expectations that exhaust you, free from emotional debt, free from friendships that were never real, and in that space you make room for you get your energy back, your clarity, your sense of self, and from that place, you start attracting the right kind of people, the kind who call first, who notice when you're quiet, who ask how you're doing, and actually wait for the answer. You don't have to do all the work. You don't have to carry the emotional load of every relationship. You are allowed to receive. You are allowed to be supported. You are allowed to be seen. And it starts with one decision. Stop trying so hard to make people stay. Start paying attention to who tries to stay without being asked. That's where your energy belongs. Loneliness isn't always about not having people around you. Sometimes it's about being surrounded by the wrong ones. The ones who make you feel invisible even when you're right there. The ones who drain you, dismiss you, or only show up when they need something. That kind of loneliness, that soul. Deep. It's the quiet ache of not being understood. And for so many women, it becomes normal. You start to believe that this asterisk is what friendship is supposed to feel like. An equal, one-sided, hollow. But let's make one thing clear. Being alone is not the same as being lonely. There is power in solitude that you will never find in a crowd that doesn't get you. There is clarity in the quiet. When you stop clinging to people out of habit, out of guilt, out of fear, you finally get the space to hear your own voice. And that voice, it's been drowned out for too long. Because when you're constantly surrounded by noise, text messages that go unanswered, plans that never happen, conversations that always center around their problems, you lose sight of what you need. The truth is, a lot of women stay in bad friendships because they fear the void. They think that letting go of toxic or dead-end relationships will leave them with nothing. But here's the truth, nothing is better than fake. Nothing is better than being tolerated. Nothing is better than being used. That empty space you're so afraid of, that's where real connection has a chance to grow. But it can't grow while you're clinging to what no longer fits. And I get it, letting go is hard, especially when you've known someone for years, when you've shared laughter and memories and heartbreak, when you've seen their vulnerable sides and they've seen yours. But love isn't measured in history, it's measured in effort, in presence, in how people show up for you now. If all you have is a shared past but no current support, that's not friendship, it's nostalgia. You deserve more than someone who only calls when they're in crisis, more than someone who disappears for weeks or months and then expects you to drop everything when they come back, more than someone who makes you feel guilty for having boundaries. You deserve people who value your time, who listen without judgment, who remember the little things, who match your energy instead of constantly taking from it. So how do you get there? You start by getting honest with yourself. You stop pretending that everything's fine. You stop making excuses for people who show you exactly who they are. You stop pouring your energy into relationships that don't pour anything back, and you give yourself permission to outgrow people. Not everyone is meant to walk with you forever. Some people were there to teach you something, to reflect who you were, to help you through a season. But when that season ends and the lessons have been learned, you have to be willing to let them go. Not with bitterness, but with clarity. You thank the experience and you move forward. And yes, it'll feel like loss, but the deeper truth, it's freedom. It's the freedom to be selective, to surround yourself with people who lift you up, not wear you down, to choose connection that feels like peace, not pressure. That's the gift of solitude. It teaches you that your own company is enough, that you don't have to settle for crumbs just to avoid feeling alone. In fact, the loneliest place to be is in relationships where you can't be yourself, where you have to water yourself down, walk on eggshells, or perform a version of you that doesn't feel real anymore. That's not connection, that's survival, and you didn't come this far just to survive. You're meant to thrive, and thriving requires alignment. So give yourself permission to pause, to take inventory, to look around and ask, who energizes me, who drains me, who do I feel safe with, who do I feel small around, and then, here's the hard part, you act on the answers. You stop ignoring the red flags. You stop keeping people around out of guilt. You stop choosing comfort over truth, because every time you tolerate less than you deserve, you send a message to yourself, to the world, to the people around you, that this is okay, that you're okay being treated like a convenience, that you're okay being the one who gives and never receives, and you're not okay with that. You're just afraid, and that fear, it's valid, but it doesn't get to lead anymore. What leads now is your self-respect, your standards, your boundaries. What leads now is your vision for the kind of life and relationships you want to build. And yes, that vision may start with you walking alone, but that walk is sacred, because it's taking you toward truth, toward realness, toward friendships that feel like mutual love, not obligation. So if you're standing in a season where the phone's not ringing, the texts aren't coming, the plans aren't being made, don't mistake that silence for failure. That silence is your power returning to you. That silence is where healing happens. That silence is where you start building a life where you are deeply connected to yourself first, and then to others who reflect that same depth. You're not too much, you're not too sensitive, you're not too intense, you're just no longer available for shallow, and that's your breakthrough. There comes a point in every woman's life when she looks around and realizes she's built a life that works for everyone but her. The calendar is packed, the to-do list is endless, the expectations are high, and every single demand from friends, family, work, the group chat, the in-laws, is silently absorbed like it's her duty. But here's the truth. Constantly showing up for everyone else while ignoring your own needs isn't kindness. It's self-abandonment, and that's exactly how women slowly lose themselves. What starts off as being helpful becomes habitual. You offer support, then feel guilty saying no. You listen endlessly, even when no one asks how you are. You cancel your plans because someone else needs something. You smile when you're exhausted, nod when you want to scream, and say I'm fine when you're anything but. And all of that, the pretending, the suppressing, the prioritizing others at your own expense, it builds up like emotional debt. One little compromise at a time, you start disappearing in your own life. This is the silent epidemic of women who are overfunctioning and undersupported, and the worst part, it's so normalized, society praises it, she's so strong, she's always there for everyone, she never complains, but nobody asks at what cost. What's the price of always being available, of never taking up space, of never asking for help? The price is your peace, your health, your joy, your sense of self. Because when your worth is based on how useful you are to others, you forget how to be there for yourself. There's nothing noble about being everything to everyone if you're nothing to yourself. At some point, you have to make a radical decision to stop performing. To stop living like your presence is only valuable when it's beneficial to others. You have to reclaim your time, your energy, your boundaries, not because you're selfish, but because you're finally awake. Awake to the fact that a woman's life doesn't have to revolve around managing everyone else's emotions. Awake to the lie that nice is the same as good. Awake to the reality that your needs matter too, because here's what no one tells you. Constantly catering to everyone else teaches people how to treat you. If you never say no, they'll assume you're always available. If you never set boundaries, they'll assume you have none. If you never ask for support, they'll assume you don't need it. And eventually, you'll be surrounded by people who take without giving. Not because they're bad, but because you taught them that was okay. You have to retrain the world by first retraining yourself. That starts by asking, what do I need? What do I feel? What would I say if I wasn't afraid of disappointing someone? And then say it, do it, stand in it, even if your voice shakes, even if it's messy, even if people don't like it. Especially if people don't like it. Because if someone gets angry at your boundaries, it's a sign they benefited from your lack of them. It's not your job to carry everyone's expectations. It's not your job to be the emotional caretaker of every room you walk into. You're allowed to be soft. You're allowed to be unavailable. You're allowed to rest. You're allowed to ask for something back, and no, that doesn't make you high maintenance. It makes you human. For too long, women have been told to be likable, not powerful, to be agreeable, not honest, to be quiet, not disruptive. But you know what happens when you finally stop living for other people's comfort? You come back to life, you start dreaming again, you start laughing, not because you're keeping the peace, but because you feel peace. You start creating space for relationships that nourish you instead of drain you. You start protecting your joy like your life depends on it, because it does, and yes, some people will leave when you stop being easy. That's okay, let them. Not everyone is meant to walk with you into the life you're building now. The ones who stay, who respect your boundaries, who show up when you say, I need help. Who see you not for what you do, but for who you are. Those are your people. That's your circle, that's your tribe, but first, you've got to clear the space. The woman who gives herself permission to stop performing is the most dangerous kind of woman. She's not rude, she's not cold. She's clear, and clarity is magnetic. It attracts the right energy, it commands respect, it makes room for authenticity. So if you've been living your life in service to everyone else, hear this. You don't owe anyone your exhaustion. You don't owe anyone your silence. You don't owe anyone your constant availability. What you owe, first and foremost, is your own healing, your own growth, your own damn happiness. And if that means people call you difficult, so be it. Be difficult, be clear, be honest, be free.